In this video, I'm going to take you through the kettlebell armbar. So this is a fantastic exercise to do for both mobility and stability for the shoulder joint. Okay? Now, a quick word of warning before you start this exercise. Do not go super heavy, especially if you've never done this exercise before. Start light. I'm using a 12 kilogram kettlebell here. It doesn't need to be super heavy. This is not a strength exercise. This is to get your shoulder joints moving, but also stable. Okay, so it's all well and good for you to have a lot of movement and mobility through the shoulder, but you need to be able to control that range of motion as well. And this exercise will help you do both things. Get better movement, but also stabilize that movement as well. So, the way we set this exercise up is you have your kettlebell next to you, and you're gonna start in side lying. So if you've done the Turkish get up before, you're basically starting the movement in the same fashion. You'll be next to the kettlebell in the fetal position like so. So the kettlebell is next to my body. I take my bottom hand and I insert it through the window and it sits diagonally across the palm. Okay? Sits diagonally across the palm. It's a nice full grip because we want a neutral wrist. Dead straight, not extended, and we don't have to gooseneck or flex the life out of it either. We want that wrist to be nice and solid where it's not going to take the wrist back and cock it back. So, fetal position, knee stacked, insert the hand through the window, kettlebell sits diagonally across the palm. The top arm, or the top hand, we use to assist. We're going to roll and press the weight overhead. From here, bring the same sided leg as the kettlebell up, so about 90 degrees. Then, the free hand comes above the head, and you're going to roll this knee across your body and keep it at about 90 degrees. We're going to start in side lying. Arm goes up, I slowly come across the body, and the knee stays at about 90 degrees. And then you relax your head on the bicep on the free arm. And this is the initial start position. Hold. Kettlebell is straight, the wrist is straight, and the arm is vertical. That is not vertical. That is not vertical. Arm straight, knuckles face the ceiling. When you finish, bring the foot back, roll onto your back, two hands, pull, roll, and unload. Okay? There's two things you need to remember. Keep the arm straight and keep it vertical. This means your knuckles face the ceiling at all times. Okay? There's a difference between straight and vertical. You need both. Alright? That way you are distributing the load directly through the shoulder joint. If you start bringing the arm in different angles, you start putting excess pressure on the shoulder joint. Alright? I'm going to show you from a different position so you can be aware of something else as well. Anti-shrugging the shoulder. When you have that kettlebell overhead, we don't want this. This is an unstable position. When your shoulder shrugs or elevates, the trapezius muscle, the upper trap, is on. We want the shoulder depressed, down away from the ear. This brings the lat on. Very important for presses, very important for get-ups, very important for shoulder health long term. Okay, so no shoulder shrugging. You want to keep that down at all times, and you will feel the lat under the armpit engage as a result. I'll show you a right-sided position. Side lying, stack the knees, brace the abs. Brace, roll, and press. Okay, bend the knee, arm will go overhead. As I roll across, bring the knee to about 90 degrees. I can still see the kettlebell from here. Shoulder shrugged, no good. Anti-shrug, yes. Breathe. When you finish, bring the foot back. Two hands on the bell. Deload. Okay? So that's your initial position. Side lying. Okay? If you've never done this exercise before, start with side lying. Knee at 90 degrees. Now, as you progress with your armbar, you are going to go from side lying to prone. That means the leg will no longer be at 90 degrees, but rather it will straighten, and you are going to try and get your hips to now face the ground. Okay? This is what the progression looks like. Free arm overhead, roll, get to side lying, and then I'm just going to straighten my left leg. Can walk this hand a little bit across. Shoulder is still anti-shrugged. And the goal is to get the hip facing the floor. Two hands, pull, roll, deload. Okay? So the further you can get your hips facing the floor, the more challenging it is, the more mobility it requires, the more stability it involves as well, because you will no longer be able to have quite as much of a visual view of the kettlebell. Okay, so this is what's called proprioceptive vertical. You are feeling a vertical position, but you can't see it the entire time. Okay, I will show you a right side to finish up, and I'm going to really challenge my hip now. I'm going to try and press it to the floor, and I'm using my breath to do so. Big exhale, hip comes a little bit lower. Inhale, back off, exhale, the hip gets a little bit lower to the floor. Last one. Side lying position. Stack the knees, brace, roll, press. Arm overhead, slowly roll. Side lying, get comfortable. Okay, yes, I can still see the bell. Yes, my shoulder is away from my ear. Straighten the leg. My grip on the kettlebell is medium to firm. You can see I'm wiggling this hand as well. I'm using it to create space for my hips to rotate. Come back slowly, plant that foot, and deload. So, there you have it, my friend. 2 options for the kettlebell armbar to improve your mobility and stability of the shoulder joint. Initially, level 1, start in side lying. Okay, the goal isn't to go from beginner to advanced, grab a 32, go straight into, prone, being face down. Start at side lying, develop that stability, develop that capacity to hold the weight with the neutral wrist, a straight arm, but a vertical arm as well at all times. So there you have it, guys. That is the kettlebell armbar.